Craig Adams here from weddingfilmschool.com, and today I'm going to be doing a review comparison between a handful of different mics that I have, and I actually borrowed one from Mike, my roommate. So I've got five, ranging from $40 to $30. All of them are plugged into two, each separately, but I'm comparing with two Zoom H1 pocket recorders. So I'm just going to compare the sound and get to it. Check, check, 1, 2. This is Craig Adams doing an audio test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check, check, 1, 2. This is Craig Adams doing an audio test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check, check, 1, 2. This is Craig Adams doing an audio test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is Craig Adams doing an audio test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is Craig Adams doing an audio test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is Craig Adams doing an audio test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check, check, 1, 2. This is Craig Adams testing the MatchStick microphone. This is the Zoom H1 at the same distance, about half a foot away from my mouth. And this is the Rode VideoMic Pro, about a half a foot away from my mouth, going into the Zoom H1. So in the end, obviously the Tram TR50, the $300 mic, sounds the best out of all five. All aspects of the sound great. I've used it before and I'm kind of spoiled. The $150, $130 mics, they sound fine, but once you compare them to the $300 Tram, you're used to that. You do notice that difference. But I think anywhere from $150 to $100 or $200 is a good, great sounding mic for weddings and miking the groom and the priest during ceremonies or the first look, stuff like that. The $40 audio-technica sounded completely like trash. Just you can compare it to any of the other mics, and it's something that you just would never want to use. Even the $75 audio-technica wasn't that great sounding either. Yeah. And then the close proximity between the Zoom H1 and the Sennheiser, the Rode VideoMic Pro is also interesting, because not many people realize that they can plug the 3.5 right into the Zoom H1 with the Rode VideoMic Pro, and that's kind of like a little portable boom in a sense. Yeah, it works pretty well, and a lot of people underestimate the sound quality of the Zoom H1, which I'm using right now. So yeah. So at this point, I've got a bunch of different lav mics that I've been using for weddings, and like slowly getting them, buying them, and really just testing them through trial and error. And of course, I started out with no money, so I bought the cheapest mics possible, and that's where that $40 Audio-Technica comes from. So that was like the main mic that I used, because it was the only mic I used back in the day, before DSLRs. And it sounded great, it was fine. I didn't know what better audio would sound like, so it worked for what I did. I think the first, I've heard great audio from Forgione and like different people and like some great films online, but I think the first time that I saw a film have excellent sound from the ceremony, and then I was actually there to help film it, was one of Michael Porco's of Michael Justin Films, one of his shoots. So I was second shooting, and I saw him using the Tram TR50 on a groom, and the vows just sounded so wonderful. It was great. And I asked him, where can I get this? He sent me a link, and I checked it out, and I bought it, that week. And ever since, I've been getting much better audio. Of course, I got the Sennheiser when I bought the G3 system, the Sennheiser mic. It's a $130, and I'd been using that in between these two mics a bit. And that was doing pretty well, but I swear, everyone who has that mic the end of it that connects into the 3.5 millimeter port, it starts to like come undone and like break. So like everyone has it taped. Like I've seen like 5 different people, friends, filmmakers, like, and they all have that tape around it. So maybe the build quality isn't that great, or maybe people abuse it more than they should. But yeah, that mic was doing pretty well as well. But I mainly use my Tram TR50 into my Sennheiser wireless kit. I use that for ceremonies, I use that for interviews, just so I can monitor the audio. And I really haven't had that many problems with wireless. Like, so many people complain about it, and like I see the wonder. I see I'm moving towards the hard body pack. I don't know what you would call that, but the portable recorder, and putting that on the groom or on the priest instead of wirelessly sending and monitoring and recording it somewhere else. But I haven't had any problems, so it's done pretty well. But it's just expensive, like $600 for a one input or one source mic. It's a bit, where I could spend 200, maybe 400, and have a really good preamp and a really good like Sony pocket recorder for 200, and then I get like a $200 lapel or lav mic, lavalier. There's like so many weird names for it. Like, people like, I don't know, it's whatever. Yeah, so I've got a lot of people asking me what I'll be moving towards, and the thing that I'm doing right now is I'm going to get rid of this hodgepodge of all these different recorders and lav mics. I want to have the same mic so that I have a consistent sound throughout, and I want it to be, a good sounding mic. I think $300 for a Tram is a little expensive. I'm going to keep it, and I'm going to use it for, single interview stuff and whenever I can, and that'll be great. But I think I've been looking at the Countryman B3 and B6. I think there's like $100 difference between them, like 200 and 300. But I kind of like the form factor of them. They're very small, very rugged. I've worked with the wires before. They're pretty good. So I'm looking into those. I haven't really had that much experience with them, but people have had some good things to say about them. So I'll probably look into those. And I've been using the Zoom H1s for a while. I'm definitely going to be selling those and moving into something else. I think, I forget who it was, but someone recommended a Sony recorder that was around $200, and it's got a much better preamp. I've heard, I can't remember the video, but I have heard comparisons between the Zoom H1 preamp and this Sony that I'm looking at, and the same microphone going into both of them, the Sony sounds better. It's twice the amount of money, but that's totally worth it. And it's kind of difficult to understand at first because there's so many parts that go into just getting the good sound. There's the quality of the mic, there's the placement of the mic, which all these things you can improve. And then there's also, the quality of the recording bitrate depth, if you're doing WAV or MP3 or what bit depth, and you want to make sure you're doing 28 kilohertz, and that's a whole nother thing, rather than 44.1. But I digress. Yeah, and then there's the preamp in the recorder. There's a bunch of different, and sometimes even with wireless, like there's more, like there's the recording level on the mic transmitter, and then there's also the input AF out on the receiver, and then there's also the level you have to set on your recorder. So like there's 3 different levels you have to set with the Sennheiser G3 system. So I had no idea what I was doing at first, but it just took a lot of trial and error, and that's what I'm trying to solve with this. As much as I can, I would love to try to teach people starting out, things that I've learned along the way. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I'd love to help out. But yeah, that's a little bit about my current situation with pocket recorders and recording audio for weddings and interviews and stuff like that. So thank you for watching, and take care.